Tom, it would be similar, but instead of being upon your oceans, it will be in your sky. Jean, you're saying that smaller craft will exit and come down to Earth from this carrier craft? Tom, yes. There will also be those that have the appearance of what you call saucers. There will be those that are pointed, as with a fee. Jean, will these vehicles pass through the time dimension or other dimension in order to arrive here at Earth? Tom, the intelligences that exist in the civilizations have the ability to come into your dimension, they have that technology, yes. Jean, a very common Earth question would be how these vehicles are powered. By what method? Tom, it resembles the reversal of a spinning top. Jean, would these vehicles remain on Earth after such a landing, and would humans be permitted to inspect them? Tom, they would have permission to visit the interior. The craft would remain for a period of time. Not a great length of time, not for years, for example. Jean, because of many stories we have of flying saucers, people will be interested to know if humans would be permitted to travel in any of these vehicles. Tom, it would be necessary, before they could travel in a vehicle, to have a vehicle around them. Jean, does this mean that the atmosphere within your vehicles will be different, or that the stress of the movement would be dangerous? Tom, the stress of the movement. It would be possible to move within your Earth atmosphere, but to take them out would require another vehicle inside a vehicle. But it could be done. Jean, landings would undoubtedly be judged by humans and governments in a variety of ways, which includes the almost certainty that some would view your landings as a threat. Do you have a method of defending yourself from attack? Tom, we wish you to know that we are talking about the civilizations, not us, the Council of Nine. We do not need to manifest in the physical. There would be a method to stop people from attempting to destroy those of the civilizations. It would be done with love and gentleness. Those of the civilizations that are in service to us will not attempt to destroy, nor harm in any manner, any physical being on Earth. We will have a way of preventing them from attempting to destroy us. But we would wish not to come without giving some prior knowledge, for otherwise people would begin to believe that we would seek to control them. We have not the desire nor the need to control, we come only to benefit. If an Altian were to appear at an entrance of his vehicle, and were stepping onto planet Earth, and if there were a group that attempted to destroy that Altian, he has only to hold out his hand in an upright manner, and not in great extension, to bring calmness, and also to render them into a state in which they would not have the desire to harm, and would put down their weapons. Huvits would operate in a different manner if they were in the same situation, and they came out and raised their arms. Those humans with weapons would become totally stationary for a period of time. So there are different methods. But none of these methods would harm a physical being. Do you understand? Jean, yes, I understand, and I certainly understand why you would not want to land showing force, because this would create great fear. Tom, yes. Jean, can you describe the ones from the civilizations who have something like human shape, something as to their size and color and features and so on? Tom, Altians have the tallness of you. The color of their eyes is a shade of blue, as that of your clear sky. They have a translucent appearance, they are very fair in their coloring. They are in erectness. When we say translucent, it is that their vibration is of translucence. Do you understand? Jean, no, I'm afraid I don't quite understand that. Tom, people upon planet Earth have many different sizes, do you not? Those of Altia have one size. They have a glowing that gives the appearance of being translucent. It is their vibration. They have a silverness about them. You have automobile that have a translucent appearance. They say I am using the wrong term, it is an iridescent appearance. Andrew, do they have any hair on them? Tom, no. Jean, other than the hairlessness and iridescence, is the spacing of their features like ours? Tom, they are similar in appearance to those that exist upon the physical planet Earth. Do you understand that the physical human seed upon planet Earth came from Altia? Jean, it is my understanding that there are some of us here on Earth who are of Altian blood. Tom, yes. Jean. Or genetic features. Tom, yes. Jean. Mixed with our basic Earth features. Tom, yes. The Hoovids are smaller. They manifest small and dark of skin, not as fair as Altians. They have hair, straightness of hair. It is also dark, yes. Jean, and are there other features, again nose, mouth, eyes, hands and so on Earth-like? Tom, yes. Those of Ashan are not. John, may I just say, do any of these have vocal cords at all? Do they make sound? Tom, Altians do not. Whovids have vocal ability, but not similar to you on planet Earth. Andrew, how long does an average Whovid live, for example? Tom, if we placed it in your Earth time, it would be in the realm of 500,000 to 1,500,000 of your years. Jean, are you saying they would live at least 500,000 years? Tom, that would be in relation to your time. Their time is not the same, your time goes in great slowness because of your density. Jean, I see. You spoke of Whovids who have vocal cords, will they speak Earth languages so that we may communicate with them? Tom, they have the ability to convert. Whovids have a method of speaking which will be transmitted, while Altians will have it in a computer box, so that what they think will come as a sound. Jean, while talking of those who are humanoid, will they be male and female, as we recognize the sexes here? Tom, Altians are of two polarities blended in togetherness. They do not have what you would call male and female. There are tripolarities in Whovids. Jean, yes, I am acquainted with the possibilities of three genders, if that's what you're trying to say, and I believe you're describing the Altians as a unisexual race, is that correct? Tom, yes. That is correct, yes. It is of interest to note here an incident that occurred several years earlier when Phyllis was waiting for a client who had an appointment for a reading at 3 o'clock at her school in Orlando. At 10 to 3 she checked with her secretary who told her that her client was a woman named Mary, in fact a regular who was always on time. Seated in the reception area was a stranger, a dark man about 5 feet 6 inches high. He was wearing a dark suit and looked Italian or Jewish, except that, according to Phyllis, he had almond-shaped eyes. The stranger said to her, "I want to see you at 3. Phyllis explained that she had a client at that time, to which he replied, "She won't be here." Phyllis returned to her office to wait for Mary, who still hadn't turned up by 10 past 3. Phyllis wondered how the stranger had known that her client was a woman. She returned to the reception area and asked him this, and also how he had known that she would not show up. He told her that Mary's car had stalled on the parkway. Intrigued, Phyllis invited him into her office and asked him what he wanted. "I want you to give me a reading," he replied. Phyllis touched his hand and in an instant she knew that he wasn't from Earth. She told him her impression. He said, "That's right. Give me a reading anyway." Phyllis said, "This isn't why you came, is it? Why did you?" He said, "You've been asking for signs since 1953. Phyllis thought that she would test him and said, "If you are who you say, then bring in one of your people." She had scarcely spoken the words when a being materialized before her eyes. He was about 6 feet 4 inches high, well-built, with blonde hair and blue eyes, and was wearing a silver-blue jumpsuit. He didn't speak, but communicated telepathically that his name was Ultima, that he and others were coming to help the planet, and that in future she would be able to call on him in any emergency. He remained in the office for less than 5 minutes, then dematerialized. The dark man left and Phyllis watched from her window as he got into a white Cadillac with Miami number plates and drove away. One Friday afternoon about 2 months later, just as Phyllis was about to leave and go home, he suddenly reappeared, put his head around the door, and said, "Hi, Phyllis, everything okay? Just checking on you." While this story can seem to be preposterous, Phyllis remembers the incident vividly and swears that this is precisely what happened. Jean, how would we be able to explain to people, and to our scientists, how people from varying dimensions have so similar a humanoid form? Tom, man made those of the civilizations into their gods. When they have the saying that man was created in the likeness of God, that referred to the civilization that had that appearance. Planet Earth does, however, have the independent capacity to develop human-type beings on it. Altians have, as we explained earlier, a manifestation that appears to be very similar to yours. They also have the ability to manifest in a different manner, but they would have. I will ask Altia how he would choose to appear. Altia has said that they would choose to appear in their usual form, which is what you would call humanoid. Whovids have that appearance. Ashans do not, Xennials do not. Jean, did the Altians and Whovins as well as others develop and evolve in the same way that we evolved? Were they planted as seeds, and did they evolve somehow on their planets naturally? With the geography and atmosphere and all of that? Tom, not in terms of atmosphere and geography. But they did go through a process of evolution. But they perhaps had a more fortunate manner, in that they were not trapped, Although, as you are aware, there were some from the civilization of Altea that were of Atlantis, remember that Earth is the planet of balance, to learn to balance the ethereal with the physical. This was what trapped many of the souls. When you speak about planet Earth evolving, remember this, that all the souls that exist in the universe have had, at one time or another, the necessity to manifest on the physical planet Earth for the lessons to be learned. So those that have existed upon Altea have also lived at least one of their lives upon planet Earth. It gets very complicated trying to explain that, when you have not the words to explain the concepts of the universe. I am sorry, they are saying I am not explaining it rightly. Souls with the desire or necessity to learn balance do come to live on planet Earth, to understand how to refine the physical in relation to the spiritual. Many Alteans, the greater majority, have lived on planet Earth, that is why they have a great wish to help planet Earth.